And now, your host, Couch Tomato!
All right, now this week we're going to be talking about Marvel villains. They get a bad rep. Everyone says Marvel movies, and I agree that Marvel movies, they're superior when it comes to like what they've been doing with comic book films. You could see that wherever they went, Fox and Warner Brothers followed suit with their, and well, Sony literally followed suit and actually joined them. So they're doing something special, and I commend them on that. And a lot of people pounce on their villains. They say that those guys suck. And I'm going to be honest, comic book villains aren't always all that anyway. It's only a handful of people that are. So when I actually started looking through Marvel's catalog, I started scratching my head a bit because the amount of movies that they come out with, when you look at the ratios of who's good and who's not, and by good I mean bad, like the villains, it's not a pretty bad ratio. It's in line with what Fox does and what DC does. So we're going to do something special. I'm going to take out my bias, and I want you to put yours in the box too. Put it in the box.
Okay. Leave
our personal feelings out of it. We're gonna rank the top 8. If we do 10, that's just not fair. It's just some people will be on the list that don't need to be there. But we're gonna do top 8 MCU villains. And these people, if they're on this list, you know how people say Marvel, their villains suck. When you say their villains suck, I don't think these names should show up in the conversation. Are you cool with that?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to let you crank it up. Remember, we trying to leave our personal feelings out of it. We just doing based off of, their plans, the acting involved, their storylines, backstory, and just their effectiveness on the overall MCU. All right? All right, so crank up with number 8.
Number 8, we're going with the Abomination. Hulk's nemesis from the Incredible Hulk. Abomination is the destroyer of Harlem ghettos and one of the main reasons Sokovia Accords were drafted in the first place. Underrated, but yet overdeveloped, Abomination is one of the MCU's baddest bad guys.
Number 7, the Red Skull, Captain America, the first Avenger. All right, if you think this guy isn't bad, if you think that he's whack, then that means you probably think Adolf Hitler would function normally in today's society because this guy is basically the Hitler of the MCU. And actually, he killed some of Hitler's henchmen, so that makes him even extra bad. So that's who we got at number 7. And next up,
we're going with number 6, S.H.I.E.L.D., a.k.a. Hell Hydra. Hydra, cut off one head, 2 shall take his place. The most corrupted organization in the world may have created the Avengers, but they also created most of the villains in the MCU in the first place.
I'm actually surprised they're not at number 1, but agree to disagree because they are. S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically Hydra, in my opinion. So next up, we got number 5, Baron Helmut Zemo, Captain America Civil War. All right, the villain in Civil War, if you're on Tony Stark's side, it's Captain America. If you're on Captain America's side, it's Tony Stark. Reason being, one of the most brilliant masterminds ever to grace the MCU, Baron Zemo constructed that. He basically pit them against each other. And I think that's the smartest idea. And it's obviously effective. And they won't basically fix the mess that he's caused until phase 14 probably. So that's who I got in my number 5.
Number 4, Ultron. Say what you want about the movie, but the character of Ultron wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and son to Tony Stark, brother, or that family dynamic is so confusing, but it gets a little Game of Thrones-ish. But definitely, I do think he's one of the best MCU villains we've seen in a long time. So I'm not mad at that number at all. All right, number 3.
You like tomato?
And you like tomato?
Potato?